Hi, Jeff Simon here at Sun and Fun 2024 for SocialFlight, and I'm here with some very special people, Dave McFarlane of McFarlane Aviation and John Cowan. And folks, I just want to say to both of you guys how impressed I am with your products. We only recently started working together on SocialFlight's T51 Mustang build. I've got your products in the Bonanza that we fly as well. And so one of the things, I mean, my background's in aviation and in engineering and A&P and IA, and the point of saying that is I can recognize quality products, and a lot of people just try to get things certified, TSO, and out the door, PMA'd. Your products are works of art. They're like jewelry every time I get a piece of them. Tell me a little bit about how you got started and what generates your kind of your business model for this.
Well, basically, we were in the repair business also. We rebuilt wrecked airplanes. We did a lot of annual inspections, and we see a lot of problems where we'd install new parts on the airplanes that wouldn't last as long. And we just decided, hey, we can do better. And our motivation is better value for the customer. We were the customer on the OEM parts, and we try to make it better, cheaper, last longer for the customer. And we got the customer at heart on everything we do, and we use our maintenance experience to know where the weak points are in the airplane and the parts, and try to make everything work better.
I love that as someone who works on aircraft, because the labor of working on a small aircraft is such a difficult thing. It takes a lot of time, and then you know you're doing it because there's some weak point in that to begin with. It was like a cable that rubs inside because there's no lining in it, or it's a part that just wasn't made stiff enough, or whatever it is. And to go and take it out and put all the labor to put something back together with the same part that you know is going to fail is really frustrating.
Exactly.
But you know, when we started using your cables and they have Teflon lining inside of them, we just know we're not going to have to do it again, and everything moves slowly and can do more turns.
Right. A lot of what we do on our control cables is vibration mitigation. What really kills them a lot is where the rubber boots don't last long enough to dampen vibration, and vibration is one of the big killers in an airplane. Every time it's going through the sky, metal is hitting metal, and it causes problems. So a lot of our work is done in understanding vibration and how to mitigate it, you know, to stop it from causing damage. And our controls are designed with like spring loads on our boots and things to continuously, you know, mitigate the vibration, which is destructive, you know, and make things work better.
Fatigue must be another thing that you're actually working on a lot, because I know you have like Cessna replacement seat tracks. You've got parts for that are parts of airworthiness directives and service bulletins that get replaced. And I always get a kick out of it when one of your emails comes out about a new part, and you always show the original OEM part next to what you did. And it's like, hey, here's this flimsy thing that turns out cracks and there's an airworthiness directive on. Here's our replacement, which you look at it and it's like this sculpted CNC machined piece of hardware that you're like, well, that's never going to fail.
We also have to consider weight and things too in our designs, you know, to keep the airplanes close to original as we can. We do have a new product out for the 150, 152 rear tail bracket that we changed the geometry on it, so it gives it twice as much fatigue resistance just by the geometry, the vibration that the tail puts into it. And then we improved the material. A lot of what we do is taking what was designed back in the 1950s and 40s and early 60s with material-wise and engineering, and bringing it up to modern standards with better alloys and better techniques in manufacturing. One of our big challenges is cost-effectively manufacturing at small quantities, and that in itself is a lot of the innovation we do. We develop unique processes and things where we can make that part in small quantities where it's cost-effective.
And that's a big challenge for the industry. Now, John, you've been obviously a huge proponent of what some of the more advanced products are and innovations that McFarlane has done. And one of the things we've seen, of course, is the idea that you can replace the old vernier control with push button and looseness and adjustments and all these problems with your new vernier assist cable. control cable for throttles and
Yeah,
things
no,
like
that's
that.
absolutely correct. So having a traditional vernier control, especially on the throttle, is a bit of a safety concern. They can jam. If you don't depress the button in an emergency, you're not going to get the motion out of the control. And so what we designed is what is called the vernier assist, and it's strictly a McFarlane design. There's absolutely no threads in that control. It cannot jam. So you have the benefit of the vernier assist action, so for small motion movements and fine tuning, and then there's course movement as well as a friction lock. And it's a series of tapered races and roller bearings and a spring pack to make it all work.
So that's the vernier assist cable there and control. And what I love about it is that, like you mentioned, you can turn it just like you would want to, or just push or pull directly out of it. I'll tell you, I personally, when flying certified aircraft, I've had an incident once where someone moved, it pushed the button and jammed forward, but going to pull it back out, all of a sudden you had to push the button. You had to think to stop it. It wouldn't pull at first. You had to push the button, then pull it back out. You can get into an emergency easy with one of those push buttons and a knee or a foot. You can get out of it. It takes some time.
Right.
And this solves that.
And the FAA anymore will not easily approve a threaded type vernier control on a throttle, you know, because of the safety concerns of it. Anybody's control, I don't care who makes it, there's the possibility of a little dirt in the wrong spot or a little wrong motion on it and pressure can jam it.
Or someone turning around, in my case, and trying to get something out of the back, and all of a sudden like, oh, let me just get some leverage by pushing on this, and you go full throttle all of a sudden, and then you're like, wait, how do I get it back?
Yeah, it happens, and so throttle is very touchy, and you want a system that positively there's nothing can let it jam. Where you can always override it. And that's why we call it an assist, because it'll put out about 10 pounds of pressure for a change on the vernier action. And sometimes there's enough drag in the system for the actuators, it's not quite enough. So you have to kind of help it going in, or you have to help it a little bit coming back. But it does, even in those conditions, it gives you a nice fine control.
And that's the point, is you want very fine control, especially these days when you use it for mixture, use it for power, or other things you want.
Formation flying, where you can match exactly, the speed of that aircraft you're flying with, things like that. It just allows you to fly more precisely.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you for your support of SocialFlight, of course, and for all your amazing products that we're using on the Mustang, that we use in the Bonanza. It really is fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing, because I love seeing new products come out in the meat and potatoes parts of aviation with like really, really cool hardware. I'm a mechanical guy. I love hardware, so I like seeing all of that. So nice job.
You bet. I enjoy your excitement.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
John.
Jeff.
Thank you so much. For Sun and Fun 2024, I'm Jeff Simon for SocialFlight. Blue skies.